Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this particular video, I'd like to talk about Doctor Who, once again touching on that great topic of companions who never were in the history of Doctor Who. And this time I'm going to flop it on the ear with a companion who actually had been, but also wasn't. And that is going to be the first Doctor companion and granddaughter, Susan Foreman. Now, you're probably going to sit back and say, Johnny, what are you smoking? Susan Foreman was the Doctor's companion for a while. One of the greatest moments in the history of Doctor Who was when he finally left her by the wayside in the Dalek invasion of Earth. Hands down, I agree with you. But there was an article that came to light this year, as of the time of this recording, 2013, with Carole Ann Ford, who played Susan Foreman, where she was saying that, it kind of ruined her career after that, because a lot of the jobs that she was, being considered for were, again, sort of strange teenager-like characters like Susan Foreman was. And she also said that she was sorely disappointed. I've heard her say this several times in interviews recently, as of the time of this recording, that she was promised things that never came to fruition with her character. And I think a lot of these things would have been very interesting to have seen. She was very much the Doctor's granddaughter, the teenager in the TARDIS who was meant to be the sort of viewport for us, the viewer, who didn't understand what was going on. But being that she was, Gallifreyan at least, or, and or arguably a Time Lady, she could have been up to a lot more, akin to Romana, and akin to, as her, in Carole Ann Ford's own words, an Avengers-type character. She was promised to have been much tougher. She was a dancer and acrobat in her, off-screen life. And she was promised physicality. She was promised, myriad spectacle-laden costumes, and just many adventures where she would have been sort of, I guess, a female equivalent to Ian, who was the action hero. It would have been very, very interesting to have seen a female companion in that early going, I should say, that was an action heroine. I mean, along the lines of many companions we've seen since. And I just think it would have been very, very intriguing to have seen that version of Susan Foreman. Someone who, if the Doctor was captured, she wouldn't constantly be whining and screaming for grandfather. She would lead the charge and go in and save his butt, I think these are very compelling ideas that sadly we never got. And so, with this sort of alternate take on Susan Foreman, I think she is right up there with great companions who never were. I mean, of course, she was. She's one of my favorite all-time companions, one that I desperately hope we get to see again at some point. I'd love to see a regeneration or something like that, once, Carole Ann Ford could be on screen one last time or something akin to that. But for me, hearing all of this, what potentially could have been with this character, that she would have been a force to be reckoned with, that she would have had sort of an elegance to her, and really what we got was just sort of the whiny teenager who was there just for our benefit. It's kind of sad when you think about it. She was one of the great companions that was, but she's also one of the great that never were. And so yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this particular line of thinking and reasoning with this great companion who was and also wasn't. And otherwise, any other choices you might have as far as companions you would have liked to have seen, whether ones that were background characters in stories, or maybe characters that haven't even been on screen yet. Like once, I talked about Charlie Chaplin. Imagine that cat going on an adventure or two in time and space. Might have explained a lot. But in any case, that'll be it for me on this. I hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you later. Peace.